Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs. The next figure I want to look at is the X-Force 3-pack Wolverine San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. This right here is the best figure in the pack. Not a whole lot to complain about. Of course, there are a couple things. I'll point those out since this is a review, but overall I'm very pleased with this figure. He stands 6 inches tall, so he is a little bit shorter than the average Marvel Legends, which is good since it's Wolverine. He's supposed to be smaller. Some people are saying he's still too tall. Personally, I don't want him any smaller than that, so I'm happy with it. Sculpt work is great all around. I'm pretty sure the torso is a reworked version of the Red Hulk wave. I haven't compared them, but it looks like it. The rest is all new as far as I can tell. So that's pretty cool. Head sculpt is really good. I like it overall. It's a little bit narrow, I guess you could say, and long front to back. Not really so much, not nearly as much as Dakin's is. So I'm not really complaining about it. It's just something that I did notice. It looks a little bit narrow, and that might just be because of the way the ears are done. I might flare those out a little bit with some hot water. But overall, it's a really nice sculpt. Looks great. Paintwork's good. The skin color is a bit glossy again, just like Psylocke, but overall it looks really, really nice. I'm really liking this figure. I want to mention real quick, all the black has like blue highlights. You can see it on the chest a little bit more than other places, maybe on the legs. So it's really nice that they did the highlights there. There's no sculpting to separate the gray from the black, but it is painted on there, so that's okay. Head articulation. His head doesn't pop off like the other ones, so I guess it's not on the standard ball peg like the other ones, but it does have the disc in there, so he's got a great range of motion up and down and the rotation. The shoulders, he's basically got the same articulation as the Red Hulk wave, but they did it differently and it's not quite as effective. It does work, but it's not nearly as nice, so it is what it is, I guess. Ball disc shoulder. And the disc is black, so on the underside it looks a little bad. On the top it looks fine. Not really going to complain. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, wrist rotation, wrist hinge, pivot, whatever you want to call that. Both arms are exactly the same. The fists are both fists. The claws are made out of a new material which is a little bit more rigid. The paint is a little bit more shiny, so they look great. They look really nice. One problem is this plastic doesn't straighten out nearly as well as the softer materials do. So you might have a little trouble getting the claws to be perfectly square, but it's okay. The claws are removable. They pop out so that you can do different poses with him or take his claws out completely and just have him bare-fisted. That sounded bad. But either way, let's move on. The claws just go out and then they pop right back in. Putting them in is a little bit more tricky because you're kind of afraid you're going to bend them, or at least I am. And it's not too big of a problem though. So that's a really nice addition. The claws look great on this guy. The only way to have better claws is to have a custom Wolverine done, which I can do. But no, realistically speaking though, these are really nice and great for production figures. I'm very happy about that. He does have the diaphragm joint that the Red Hulk wave figure had. It's got a decent range of motion, so I'm pretty okay with it. It's pretty effective and it's not very ugly, and it has a waist twist built in. I'd still prefer an ab crunch, I think, over the diaphragm, but it's not bad. The belt's painted fairly well. It could be a little neater, I guess, but it's not so bad. I'm okay with it. The gray lines are relatively straight and nice and crispy, so overall I'm pretty happy. He's got it's a Y joint really, even though he doesn't have the ball disc hips. It's a Y joint with the new cut joint for the thigh, and it does flare out, so decent enough range of motion. I don't care for this as much because if you rotate the thigh, if I can do it, the line of course breaks up, so it doesn't look as nice as it could. And this type of joint is a little bit more limited than a ball disc with the thigh rotation built in, but it's still effective, so it's alright. If you notice, well, I guess it's not so bad. The lines don't line up perfectly when you bring the leg square forward. If you want the leg to if you want the line to line up perfectly, his leg's going to be pointing out just a little bit, but that's not a huge deal. Double jointed knee, rotation in the shin at the top of the boot. He's got the buckles all painted all the way down, and he's got the new ankle joint with the pivot and the rocker. Again, I'm still not real pleased with that rocker, but it's better than nothing, so I'm not going to complain. all new for the legs at least. I'm pretty sure everything's new except for the torso, which is just retooled. But still, it's a great figure and easily the best of the batch for sure. If you're not going to buy the whole 3-pack and you can just buy this guy loose on eBay, don't even hesitate. Great figure, probably the best Wolverine we've gotten. I'm still a big fan of the Red Hulk wave and the brown suit, but still this one's great. So it is highly recommended, and I do suggest you guys pick it up at just about any cost. Don't go crazy, but it's definitely worth it. You'll be happy. So there he is, guys. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the Archangel review, and in the meantime, keep collecting.